So I thought I'd finally get round to recording some Nintendo Switch footage. If you haven't already seen, I do have a Nintendo Switch unboxing ASMR video which you can find on my channel, or indeed I will link below. It's easier to find that way. So here I'm just essentially going to explore this little area that I've just stumbled upon. I found it quite accidentally as I was heading towards a shrine in the distance, which is what I've pinned on the map in purple there. And I just thought it was a good moment to switch on the camera and we can explore it together. And the lightning does worry me a bit in this game because I've not, other than taking cover, not found out a way how to avoid the lightning. I took some shock resistance potions, but it's either too weak or that doesn't work against lightning, because if I get hit I still die. But I've not tried any strong potions, shock resistance potions. So here I'm just wandering around and just seeing what there is to be seen. I'd never reached the shoreline before, so this was quite exciting. I was wondering what on earth that was. So I thought I'd go and check it out, but I'm a little bit cautious because I actually don't want to get into any fights or major bits of action, because I thought that wouldn't be very relaxing. I thought exploration would be a bit more calming. I wasn't sure what this lizard fellow here was, whether he was friend or foe, so I just kept a safe distance once I saw he was moving. I've only just realised how to use these boats. Turns out you have to waft wind onto the sail with a leaf. So I picked up this leaf earlier and it doesn't do any damage. And I thought, what on earth is this for? And then I realised still haven't quite perfected the technique here. I really am, these days, the definition of a casual gamer, so you'll have to excuse my less than perfect mechanical skills here with the controls. There we go, got it in the end. I'm really enjoying this game. When I was younger, I had a Nintendo 64 and I grew up playing Zelda Ocarina of Time, which was just amazing back then. I couldn't believe it. Oh, we have an encounter here. I missed with the arrow there. I think I miss again. Yes. I'm doing the voiceover over this so that the quality can be a bit better this way. I think I just decided to go for a big old club. This is the hardest hitting thing I have. Just wallop him. There we are. Poor fellow. Finish him off with there we go. I think that's the only fight that I get into. I didn't want to fight him, but he asked for it. And then I had this big black cloud over me this whole time. It all felt a bit ominous, so I decided to head back and go to the shrine instead. I'll come back here another time. But anyway, as I was saying, I had an N64 growing up, and just loved playing Ocarina of Time. I don't think I ever finished it. I think I was too young to have the wherewithal to do all the puzzles or not, but I think I got quite far into it. Almost guarantee it was the water temple that flummoxed me. But I would love to see that get ported into Switch, because I'd love to play it again, revisit the whole game, see if it still stands up. I'm sure it does. I think it's a classic. And yes, other than that, I played a lot of Valve games growing up. So things like Half-Life and all of the iterations of that. So Half-Life, Blue Shift, Half-Life, Opposing Force, I think it was called. TFC, which is Team Fortress Classic. What else was there? Day of Defeat, etc. So I grew up around all of that. There was a very big modding community at that time. So you download all kinds of free mods and add-ons. Something called Action Half-Life, I remember being mad but good fun. Another one called Natural Selection, which was really advanced, and that was towards the tail end of my interest, I think. For the time, it was advanced. And yeah, I played a whole variety of games, and on the N64 I played Zelda games, Mario 64, Mario Kart. I never played Majora's Mask, and I can't remember why. I think because it needed an expansion pack. That might not be true, but I think it might have needed an expansion pack. And I didn't have one, so I never got it. But I've heard that's, divisive. I think some people think it's a masterpiece and other people think that it's too derivative in terms of its assets and too frustrating, sorry I can't talk today, too frustrating in terms of its mechanics, because Majora's Mask, I believe, has a 3-day cycle that constantly repeats, or you have to play with time in a manner that means the third day never actually approaches, something like that. I haven't played it, but I've read about it. I thought I'd stop here on this cliff because it just looked so lovely. Somewhere else I want to go in the distance there. Quite a few people to talk to around here. Hello. Been on patrol duty lately. I didn't give myself enough time to read these. Never mind. He's asking me to find someone. Because he's making other people uncomfortable. He's got some sort of suspicious cart with him. So I'll go and hunt him down, see what he's up to. A shady customer, indeed. I have to say, I love the sounds in this game. I particularly find the sound of Link walking on concrete really relaxing, actually. The sound of that, the sound of his footsteps, and the sound that his armour makes as it sort of rattles around. It's a really nice sound. I think the sound design on this game is fantastic. I love this little fellow as well. He's called Beetle. He's got a great nose and a great haircut and a wonderful oversized backpack with an awning on it. buy 10 arrows, because they're always useful. The other stuff I didn't need. Arrows are always good. I'd like to keep Beetle in business. But yeah, and then before the Nintendo 64 I had a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, a SNES. And on that I also played a lot of Zelda. I can't remember if it's... I get the names mixed up. Is it Link's Awakening or was that the Game Boy game? I think the Game Boy game was A Link to the Past. And I think Link's Awakening was the SNES game. That one I played a lot. And I believe that was the one that was somewhat recently remade for the Switch. So that's probably one I'll end up picking up because I played the SNES game again and again and again. I really enjoyed it. It felt so big at the time. It felt like you could do so much and there's so many sort of myths about the game, you know, whether the Master Sword and the Pegasus boots and how do you get them and do they really exist? And I don't know, when you're a kid, you hear about these things in the game and you're not quite sure if they're apocryphal or not, and then you get them and you realise, oh, it was true all along. And it's great. Don't really get that as an adult anymore. I miss those days, that was nice. This person seems friendly as well. And I noticed there was a pot here on the right. So I thought I'd cook up some food. I had something quite special. It was a large radish that gives me extra hearts when I eat it, which would be useful for any difficult battles coming up. But this little area here, the stables, is so charming. It's so lovely. I like all the leaves on the ground and the leaves that are getting kicked up in the air. I've got a lot of stuff here that I need to organise. Some of these things I haven't cooked with at all. I should probably just sell. I'm actually not a hoarder at all in real life. In fact, if anything, I have a serious problem with throwing things away. I throw everything away. Everything. Or recycle it. You know, I try to be responsible about how I throw things away. But I do almost compulsively throw things away. I don't quite know why. I think it's don't know why I do that. I don't like things to be around. I like things to be very simple, and I like the feeling that if I need to get up and go, I can just pack a bag and I'm ready, and I can go. I can go anywhere in the world, not tied down or anything like that. I can just pick up and leave. I like the freedom of that. It's not for everyone. Most people I know actually are, compared to me at least, what I would describe as hoarders. A lot of my friends keep a lot of stuff. I find it quite stressful having lots of things. And I don't like things that are plugged in, even something plugged into a wall. I feel like, oh, that's got a semi-permanence to it. That's something that I'm going to have to, that's going to be difficult to get rid of if I want to get rid of. I like small, portable things that could be packed away and hidden. So, Don't know why, but that's me. And I think I like this to a fault. I don't think it's actually healthy. I think I probably should try to enjoy things more. Try to have stuff. I don't even have any photographs of anyone or anything. I find photographs make me sad. Looking back on the past does not make me very happy. So I don't take any photographs and I don't keep any. Now this is the very first shrine in which I've had to use the gyro feature within the console. I've heard that this is the only drawback with this game on the light switch, because if you're using the standard switch, you've got the Joy-Cons, of course, and you can move the controllers without moving the screen. So this here is a real faff. This wasn't actually fun, having to move the screen. This one was not too bad. Once I understood the concept, I realised, okay, I'm going to have to probably flick this with quite a bit of force. But the next, look at that fix, so it's not very relaxing, is it? But it was necessary to complete the task. The next section of the room was really not fun. I'm not sure if I'll show you the various attempts it took or if I'll just cut the video. Yeah, so if I had a controller, the Joy-Cons, it would be much simpler, less awkward. You can't see what you're doing is the downside. But that was mercifully simple in theory, just difficult in practice. I could have just completed the shrine there, but whenever there are extra bits, I always feel compelled to go and finish those off too. So this one, because it's not very clear, there's a big hole in the middle, so it needs to go up and around into the hole on the other side, otherwise drop off. So it did there. So this took several attempts. But maybe I'll keep them in so you can share the frustration with me. Look at this silly movement. It's not a very elegant design, is it, with the switch when it comes to these puzzles. Still works though, still make it work. And so many of these shrines aren't necessary anyway. They're good for collecting, can't remember the name of the orbs, spirit orbs at the end, which then you collect a certain amount of those and you can increase your heart meter or you can increase your stamina meter. But there are lots of them around, so if you come to one of these shrines, and I'm getting very frustrated there, if you come to one of these shrines and you can't complete it because of the gyro controls, you can certainly find another one. I'm really surprised by how much I'm enjoying this game. I usually don't like open world games. I find them it's almost too much choice, and I don't have that enough time in my life, unfortunately, to just get lost in an open world. Now that I'm older, would rather have quite a complete, guided, on-rails, narrative-driven game that has a beginning, middle, and end, and it's clearly defined, and something linear, basically. It just fits into my life a little easier. Now that I've got boring adult things to consider. But this is definitely an exception to that, because I'm loving this, and I find it's really easy to pick up for 20 minutes, even 10 minutes, and then put back down. You can save anywhere, it seems to me. and even 10 minutes. In that time you can explore something, you can cook up some recipes, you can get to the place you want to get to for the next run, because along the way you'll encounter something interesting or what have you. So it's sort of a perfect game. It's really hard to fault. It's got a bit of everything, really. Very impressed. And it's amazing these franchises, I suppose you call them, have been going on for decades. It's something quite nice knowing that when I was a kid, I enjoyed Zelda games. And then, if I ever have kids, maybe they'll also enjoy Zelda games as well. It's nice that you can share that. It's happening in cinema as well, actually. Star Wars and things. Different generations. Anyway, that's the end. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found it relaxing. And I'll see you in the next one.